So they clean this up so they have a clean surface. Does that make sense? Okay. And then they'll actually do the same to the rootstock. A lot of times these will have leaves all the way down, so they'll strip them all off. Okay, so it's clean. All right. And then they graft them. Okay. So it's quite a, just quite a. So this is called a side veneer graft. You gotta have an extremely, you gotta have an extremely sharp knife. So what you're doing is you're just gently laying the cambium back without cutting that lip off. See a little flat? And then you take your sign wood and you just ever so slightly scrape the bark off of the cambium off of both sides. The whole time you're doing this, if you go just a millimeter, too deep, you get too far into, you start getting into the xylem and everything, it won't take. And then last, tie them together with these grafting bands. Basically look like rubber bands that are designed to deteriorate with the sunlight.
That holds it tight, so those two layers.
So they fuse together, yeah. So what's so important is that when he puts them in there, okay, when he puts it in there, that this lines up. You see that right along the side? And then when you look at it right there, you don't want to see any light through there. Okay? So you can kind of pass that around. You're looking right there for it to line up, and like you don't want to see daylight in between.
Oh.
Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. Because you're going, that lip and the bottom piece will grow together. And then what happens as they grow together, let me see that for 1 second. As they grow together, okay, it's called knitting, or okay, as they start to fuse together, then we'll just start through a period of time, like every 3 weeks, we'll come in and reduce some of the top. Okay, so we'll cut this off, then we'll cut it here, and then lastly we'll cut it right here, right above where we made this incision. So now you have the sign wood, the piece that you wanted, okay, is your plant, and now you have the roots of the rootstock.
And about how long does that process take that you're cutting that away? Is it like
So they start in February, and then the last ones you just went through in May. So February,
trim
March,
off the
April,
excess and
May.
everything?
Yeah, about 4 months. Yeah.
Have you always done that gradually, or is that something by trial and error you figured out that works?
Well, all this propagation is trial and error. I mean, we'll have great success with witch hazels this year, and next year it'll be a complete flop. So we'll just try to change something up. The last couple of years, our maples have sucked. I mean, they're terrible. So we've been doing them the end of August. So this year we're going to do them the end of July. Because a lot of your success rate all starts right here with what stress level this mother plant was under that you collected the wood on. Like a year of a drought or a year of a lot of rain when there's no oxygen in the soil. This little guy right here won't be as willing to take hold of the rootstock.
That gradual removal, that's what I was wondering about too. You snipping back that juniper
Yeah, do it about
gradually.
3 or 4
So it's
times.
still carrying on photosynthesis, trying to get the other one encouraged.
You're watching the buds. You're watching the buds break on the
Right.
sign.
No cuts? Fingers, no cuts?
Okay.
Wow, really? That's like a scout.
All right, so you got 2 spuddy continuum. So we're going to graft a couple more so you can watch.
And so is the rootstock just straight Juniperus virginiana, or is
Yeah,
it
so this is
just as
this is juniper head side.
Okay.
So that's all from doing it 40 years.
Okay.
Trial and error.
Gotcha.
Like we'll try something new and it'll be. But the problem is when you try something new, a lot of times you won't know that it doesn't work out until you put the plants out in the field and they start falling over and they break off.
Okay.
Sometimes you won't know for like 8 years, and you've done it 8 times. And you just lose hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with that.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh. You cut it too
Too
deep.
deep? Okay. Okay. And then-
Junipers, what he's doing there, the type of wood is really knotty or whatnot at each of the nodes, and it's really hard to cut smoothly as opposed to like a witch hazel that has a smooth trend.
You're just trying to get that surface not
You
wavy.
don't want
Right,
a lot
yes.
of clay in there, you want it to really line up with the layers.
When they're doing the slicing or the peeling back of the cambium, are they looking for on the sign wood anything in particular that where they need to be cutting?
Yeah,
Are there any indicators?
so first they're going to make the cut on the rootstock, and then they're going to make sure that they make the cut on the sign wood that it's the same height, same length. Okay, so you don't open up any more. Everything you open, you want it to be completely covered, and then you push it to one side. You want to draft a couple maples up high, show them in their tartars. So like our maples A lot of the maples, you know, the weeping maples you see in people's yards, the dissectums, we graft them up high because when we put them out in the field, that way we can dig them with a mechanical tree spade, we don't dig them with a shovel. And they're easier to keep weeds out of, and they're easier for us to put on all of our tractor trailers.
Otherwise, when you're trying to do it low, when you're going in with your tree spade, you're hitting some.
Yeah, you break all the branches.